Okay, so no question from your side. Anyway, I am also going to share the handouts to you all people. Okay, so just go through it. Okay, so let us start our lecture. I think you can able to see my whiteboard. So the subject is information theory and coding. Okay, so when we are here to discuss information theory and coding, so then it comes what is information? What you call as information? So yeah, particularly I will not ask any question because I have made you disable. So information means some message. When we talk about information, so information means some message. Correct. Then it comes what is a message, which we can call it as a message. Suppose I will say today is Monday. Okay, I will say today is Monday. This is one statement. Second statement, tomorrow it will rain. Okay, so I have written here two different statements. Now just analyze the statements. So we can say this as information, we can say this as information because they have some message to us. Okay, but when we are analyzing information theory, the meaning of information is something different because both are statements. Both statements convey some information, some messages. But which information is more valuable? Okay, or suppose I will have third statement. Earth rotates around sun. Three different statements are there. I have written. So you see, the first statement, today is Monday. This statement, it carries some information. Some information in the sense, let me see any question from your side. No. Some information in the sense, suppose a person who has no idea about the dates. Some people are there who don't remember the dates properly or the dates as well. They don't remember. For them, this statement is an informative statement. But those people who know it, yeah, today is Monday. So what they will ask, yeah, what is this? Okay, today is Monday. So there is no information from them. Okay, so particularly the statement one, it carries less information. But second statement, tomorrow it will rain. Okay, if you say tomorrow it will rain, so it has some information. because nobody knows whether tomorrow it will rain or it will not rain. Nobody knows. So it has some information. Okay, so this particular statement, second statement, it carries high information. Okay, so some particularly when the IMD, our Indian Meteorological Department, they give the statement that tomorrow it will rain. Okay, so that means it is an informative statement for all. Okay, no, because we don't know whether tomorrow it will rain or not. So third statement, Earth rotates around Sun. So this statement, it is known to everyone. All are aware that our Earth is rotating around the Sun. So it has no special information in that. So I have here highlighted three different statements. Each statement we can call a message, but that doesn't mean what is the amount of information, what is the amount of message we are now concerned about that. We are not concerned about message. We are transmitting message in communication. We have transmitted message. We have transmitted information. But in information theory, we are going to see what is the amount of information we have. So that is the difference. So if you see the second statement, it has high amount of information. The first statement, it has moderate information. And the last one, it has low amount of information, or we can say it has no information. So this is the amount of information, that is called amount of information. So this amount of information is dependent on a factor. So that factor is called probability. That factor is called probability, or we can call as probability of, or we can call probability of occurrence. Okay, for example, if we again come back to our three different statements or messages, message number 2. Okay, so what is the probability that tomorrow it will rain? What is the probability? Because today the climate is very good, it is very sunny. Nobody knows that tomorrow it will rain. Because if today is cloudy and someone says tomorrow it will rain, then it has no information, or it has very less information, because everyone knows that yes, it is cloudy means it will rain. But if today is sunny, the atmosphere is very clear, and if the IMD says, or Indian Meteorological Department says tomorrow it will rain, then it has very less probability, because atmosphere is very clear today. So what is the chances of rain tomorrow? It is very less. Okay, so that means the probability is less here. Okay, so you have here probability is less. Now if you see the third statement or third message, Earth rotates around Sun. What is the probability? What is the probability of this event? The probability is very high, because everyone knows, and every time, every second our Earth rotates around Sun. So it has high probability, and the probability is also, this probability is 1, because it has high probability. Okay, and coming to the first statement, today is Monday. Okay, so it has also it has also near to high probability, or we can say moderate probability. The probability is here moderate. So if as you see here, this particular statement number 2, it has high information but it has less probability. Statement number 3, it has high probability but less or low information. So what we can draw a conclusion at the point is that how the information is dependent on a factor that is called probability of occurrence. So information is inversely proportional to the probability of occurrence. That implies if an event is having high probability of occurrence, then it has less amount of information, and vice versa. That means if an event is having less probability of occurrence, that means it has high amount of information. So in what we are discussing now, we are not discussing about information. We are not discussing what is an information. We are discussing what is the amount of information. Rather than discussing what is information, we are discussing what is the amount of information. That should be clear to you. Okay, so now moving forward, so in communication, let me see if there is any question. No. Yeah, in communication, when we transmit some information, then we need 3 things. We need an information transmitter, we need a channel, and we need a information receiver. So when we talk about information transmitter, so the information transmitter is called a source. Information transmitter is called a source, and information receiver is called receiver, and in between the source and receiver you have a channel, and this channel is a noisy channel. Okay, so this source can be of 2 types. So one kind of source is called analog, and the second one is called discrete. So we have two types of source. One is called analog and second one is called discrete. So what is an analog source? How we can define a source as analog? If a source emits the information in form of continuous electrical signals, then that source is analog source. And another type of source is called discrete source. In discrete source, the source emits the information in form of sequence of symbol. In case of discrete, the information is transmitted in form of sequence of symbol. So this kind of source is called discrete source. Okay, so if we focus on the block diagram of communication system, so you have an information source. You have an information source which emit the information. Then after, what you have? So what is the output of this information system? It is continuous and analog. Okay, so if we talk about a discrete source of second type, this is the discrete source, then this source will transmit the information in form of sequence. Okay, so that sequence, that is called the sequence of, let me write here, this is the sequence of symbols. This sequence of symbols are transmitted here, and we have a source encoder. Okay, you know what is source encoder? What is the job of source encoder? That you might have studied in digital communications. It will convert the information in some binary bits. So that means, what is the output here? Here you are having some binary bits, okay, or binary input streams. Then we have a channel encoder. We have a channel encoder. So here we add some redundant bits. Okay, so after channel encoder, what we have? We have a modulator. That means particularly I am not writing here, but it is a digital modulator. Okay, so at the here if you see, what is your signal? Your signal is still in binary. It is still binary streams. So what the channel encoder does, it will add some redundant or additional bits into the incoming bit stream. Okay, so these binary bits, it will be modulated. So after that, here what will have? You will have some analog signal. So that signal will be transmitted into your channel, that is called communication channel. So this communication channel can be wired channel or it can be wireless channel. Okay, if the channel is wired channel, then the electrical information will be, or the electrical signal will be transmitted through the channel. But if the channel is wireless, then electromagnetic waves will be transmitted. So again, this here, what is the signal? It is again in form of analog. So here we have a demodulator. So demodulator converts this analog signal into which form? It will convert into again this binary stream form. Okay, so again we have here a channel decoder. So what it is does in the channel encoder, in the transmitter section, we had added some redundant bits. So that redundant bits should be removed. Okay, so and not only removed, the error detection happens here in channel decoder. So again, at the output you have the format is in binary stream format. So after removing that redundant bits, it will be still in binary format. And we have source decoder. source decoder. Okay, and so at the output of the source decoder, your output is in the form of symbols, that is sequence of symbol. Then you have information receiver. Okay, at the end you have information receiver. So this is the basic block diagram of communication system which you have studied in your earlier classes. Okay, but in information system, so the basic block diagram is the information source, then you have a source encoder, you have a channel encoder, and you have channel decoder, source decoder, and information receiver. Okay, let me draw it. If you draw the basic information system, so in the basic information system you have information source, then you have encoder. Okay, so here we have two different types of encoder. One is source encoder, another is channel encoder. Okay, so we are not concerned about the source encoder, we are concerned about channel encoder. Okay, then we transmit to channel, then from the channel at the receiver we have channel decoder, and we have information receiver. Okay, so this is the basic block of that is called information system. Okay, if you see here, if you compare this block diagram, I have considered information source, source encoder, channel encoder, modulator, then channel. But here information source is there, but I have not considered source encoder. I have considered channel encoder. I have not considered modulator. Okay, so what I have ignored here, I have ignored source encoder, I have ignored modulator. Okay, then why I have ignored? Okay, actually we are considering all those, but in this basic information system, in the basic information system, I have not considered the source encoder and I have not considered the modulator because our main focus is here. Throughout this course, we will be mainly focusing on this and on this. These two sections are more important for us rather than source encoding, modulating. All those things are least important for us because we will see how securely we can transmit the information. So particularly this channel encoder, we will study many types of channel encoding techniques and how the error can be removed here, that we will also going to discuss. Okay. Right, so any question at this point? No. Okay, so now moving forward, as I have said, or as I have or we have discussed, what is information, what is the amount of information, and how the information is related to the probability of occurrence, right? So from that we have drawn one conclusion that information, okay, or if I write I stands for information, is inversely proportional to the probability. If any information is having less probability of an occurrence, that indicates the amount of information is more, and vice versa. Okay, so suppose I am transmitting a set of information, and those set of information I can write as S is equal to S1, then S2, S3, so dot 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 up to Sn. Okay, so how many information symbols I am transmitting? I am transmitting n number of symbols. Okay, and if the probability of first symbol is P1 and the second symbol is P2, third symbol is P3, so on, the last symbol is having the probability of occurrence Pn. Okay, then any symbol in the information streams. So what S stands for? S stands for my information stream. Okay, so any symbol in my information stream has their respective probability of occurrence. So if I want to find what is the information, suppose this is a symbol, this is a symbol, this is a symbol. So what is the amount of information this symbol S3 is having? So that I denote by I3. So I3 represents the information content. I3 information content in symbol S3. So how I can find out the amount I3? So I3 is inversely proportional to 1 divided by P3. So that means the probability of S3. Correct. So if I want to find what is in terms of bits, then I can write I3 is equal to log base 2 1 divided by P3. So this is the amount of information in the symbol S3. So then question come, why we are taking the logarithmic? Okay, why we are taking logarithmic here? We have written here I3 is inversely proportional to P3, but now we have written I3 is equal to log base 2 1 by P3. So why this logarithmic I have taken here? So basically the logarithmic are taken in information theory to represent the amount of information in form of a positive quantity, because if you have a information, some information you have, the information, if someone wants to what is the amount of information, either the information can be 0 or information can be 1. So the amount of information ranges in between 0 and 1. Okay, if the probability is high means it is 1. If the probability is 1, that means it has no information. Sun rises in the east, sun sets in west, it has high probability. The probability of occurrence is 1. So in that case, it has no information. Okay. Tomorrow there will be earthquake. What is the probability? Do you know tomorrow it will be earthquake? Nobody knows. Tomorrow it will be cyclone. It has no information. So if any event has less probability, that means high information. So when we talk about less probability, the probability can be at least 0. So that means the probability ranges in between 0 and 1. Okay. So information cannot be negative. So it cannot be a negative quantity. So that is why we are taking logarithm to represent the information in terms of a positive quantity. Okay, so here the value of P3, the P3, it will range from 0 to 1. Are you agree with me? It will range in between 0 and 1. So suppose the value of P3 is 0.1. Okay, so 1 divided by 0.1, that equals to 10. So that this quantity cannot be negative. Okay, understood why we are taking logarithm. Then question comes, why we are taking log base 2? Why you are not taking log base 10? Why you are not taking log base e? Log base e is ln. So why we are taking log base 2? The answer is we can take log base 2, we can take log base 10, we also can take log base e, that is ln. If we are taking log base 2, then the unit will be, if you are taking log base 2, then the unit of I3 will be bits. If you are taking log base 10, then the unit will be, what is the unit? It will be decit. Okay. If you are taking log base e, or that is called ln, then the units will be nats. So if we are taking here log base 2, then the value of I3 will be, whatever the value we will get, the value will be, the unit will be bits. If you take here log base 10, the unit will be decits. If you take ln, then the unit will be nats. Okay, so we are come to the end of this lecture today. We have no time. So in next class when we will meet, I hope today again we will meet in the second afternoon hour. So we will take up one example and we will see what is the amount of information that present in a symbol. Correct. So if you have any question, you text in the chat box, then I can make you unmute.